Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week 14, March the 29th through the 4th weekly wrap-up. So as I've been doing for a little while now, there's going to be a lifestyle portion of this, and then there will be a review of the books that I read last week. So if you're not interested in the lifestyle portion, there is a timestamp down in the description box along with so much more information, so make sure you're checking out the description box. So let's just get into what happened last week in my life. Lifestyles! Yeah, I don't want to be, dinged for that, so I won't finish that sentence. But if you know where I was going with that little lifestyle thing, let me know down in the comments. I want to see what you guys guess where I was gonna go, because there's a couple different avenues that I could have went, but set by the tone and everything like that, let me see if you know where I was going with that. So last week, after a year and a half of a review, guess who got monetized, you guys? This girl right here. Yes, I did. Super excited. But yeah, it took a year and a half. I'm pretty sure about a year and a half, because I think it was the beginning of last year that they cut everybody's monetization and then had all these different rules and stuff like that. And then you had to go through review. So I had been checking on it, and for like the last 6 months, my channel had been in review status. And that probably went along with the fact that I have a whole lot of videos that they had to review, and hey, I mean, I think right there, if I'm putting out content on a consistent basis, would mean that I'm, on the platform. But whatever. What else did I realize last week? That I only have like 4 hairstyles that I do, because lazy. My arms start to hurt when I start messing with my hair, and I'm gonna need the hairstylists or the hair stores, the hair salons. God, can I get that out to get reopened like soon, because I need my hair washed by somebody else. Normally when I get to the point that I have a hard time, or I feel like it's more of a burden to do my hair than to keep it long, I cut this shit off. So yeah. Yep. That's happening. Or not happening. I'm not going to cut off my hair. I'm just going to wear it in my 4 little styles. Either these 2 ponytails, that like faux mohawk that I sometimes wear, where I have one ponytail that's here and then another ponytail that's back here, or one full ponytail in the back and just do the afro puff thing, because it really needs to be cut as well. My ends are not cute, which makes these puffs look even more righty in real life or whatever. At work, at the essential job that I work at, craziness. So I got told that I am intimidating and that my director is afraid of me. That was real entertaining. I had to try and keep a straight face as he was saying that. And I didn't feel that it was my place to tell a director that he didn't know what the fudge he was doing, and that he needed to learn his job. So when the conversation was over, it was just okay, I will do my best to be less intimidating or more approachable, which I've been told quite a few times. I just have this personality that doesn't stand for stupidity, and I can't help that. I can't do it. So alrighty, enough of that. Let's get into what I read last week. So I didn't do very well last week, and I'm sort of failing at the readathon that I'm co-hosting, but Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the other thing. My body has decided that 4 o'clock in the morning is the time that it's going to wake up every single day. Don't know why. Just I can't sleep past 4 a.m. and it's tiring. It's tiring. The reason I'm failing at the readathon that I'm co-hosting this weekend is because yesterday I ended up sleeping more than I ended up reading. It was so bad. So bad. But last week I ended up reading 4 books, which is a good number, but for me it's a low number. If you've been watching the channel at all, you know that I'm averaging like 5 to 7 books, right? Which is okay because I am 38 books, I think it was, 38, 39 books ahead of my Goodreads goal. So me doing 4 books this week isn't going to, hurt that goal at all. I'm already ahead of it, so I could take a couple weeks off and be straight. But the first book that I read last week was The Happy Camper by Melody Carlson. And I place this in Christian fiction. Romance, maybe. I give it 2 stars. I give it 0 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC from NetGalley, and where to begin? Where to begin on why why I'm giving it 2 stars, why it wasn't a complete dumpster fire, but at the same time it was tilting there. It really was. So this story follows Dylan, who ends up breaking up with her boyfriend, who's a douche, and then moving back to her grandfather's farm after her mother ends up calling her and saying how sort of hard of a time the grandfather is having because the grandmother just passed away. Passed away a year ago. So he's having a hard time and could use his granddaughter who, grew up on the farm with her. So she packs up all her stuff and she moves back to the farm. Well, come to find out, Mommy dear is living on the farm with Dad. Okay, that's all right, right? But super annoying point to the story is that Dylan, our main female character, calls her mother by her first name. And I get when parents and kids in books don't have a good relationship, but she called her by her first name the entire story, and it drove me absolutely crazy. It wasn't like, well, Mom, da-da-da-da-da. No, it was, well, Marion, I think her name was, this and that. No, Marion, I don't want you to do that, and da-da-da-da. And it just, it felt like there was no parental connection whatsoever. Now, mind you, the story is supposed to be about a happy camper, right? So the camper situation doesn't come in until like 50% into the story. The first half of the story is Dylan lusting after this guy that she meets on her drive in because she needs some windshield wipers, and she mistakes the guy that helps her as an employee instead of the owner of the store that she went into, and it's a small town. So I'm like, okay, yep, she's lusting after him. You sort of get that he's interested in her, but there's a huge mix-up because there's these 2 little girls that need swim lessons. Oh yeah, by the way, Dylan becomes a swim instructor. And she is dealing with the little girls. He comes and picks them up. So then she thinks that he's the dad of the little girls. Then come to find out there's another woman that's involved that happens to be the girl's mom. And then come to find out that's not what it seems. And oh my goodness, here in walks freaking the ex-boyfriend, travels across the country to, make a thing with Dylan. I love you still. I still want to be with you. So then enter a triangle of love that ends up being a square because there's this, the small town guy, Jordan. I forgot to tell you guys his name. Jordan, he ends up being like the most eligible bachelor in the small town, and it's because his family's like, he came and inherited the farm store, the store that she's, Oh, and I haven't gotten to the best worst part of it yet. You know how I labeled it as Christian fiction? It's because there were so many religious bombs that just blew up at different moments of the story. We'd be going along all great and you know, whatever, borderline freaking women's fiction, and then you throw a religious bomb into it. I was like, whew, whiplash on the whole religious aspects of it. Just, there was just so much. I missed the connections, and then by the end of it, the only reason it gets to be a romance is because the two characters that end up getting, Dylan and the other character that ends up getting together, they're like, I love you too. Oh. And book. Done. And it was like randomly out of nowhere. Oh, I've been wanting to tell you that I love you forever and da 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 da. Girl, you only been in town for like 2 or 3 months. Come on. And you were just talking about how you had feelings for your ex. Come on. Just annoyed me. And I think that kind of slumpied me out for the week, and then I couldn't really get into anything else. But then I picked up Stealing Cinderella by A. Zavarelli. I hope I said that right. I've been practicing all week to try and make sure that it sounds at least right to the spelling of this author's name. So I apologize ahead of time if I jacked up that last name. This is a dark fairy tale retelling. I give it 5 stars. I give it 5 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC. It released last week, so go check it out. This cover is amazing. And it is part of the Sinister Fairy Tales collection. This book follows Ella and Thor. Yes, yes, yes. So many yeses. So, if you haven't figured it out, it is a retelling, reimagining of the story of Cinderella. And it had so many points to it that I was just so in love with it. But the story is not for everyone. There is a lot of dark themes in this one. There's a kidnapping. There is, drugs are used to, in this kidnapping. There is some, themes and ties to BDSM in the non-consent play portion of BDSM, and yeah, there's some abuse that ends up happening. There is just so many yeses. There's a psychopath that ends up showing up in the book or in the story, and just whew. So it's mainly a Cinderella retelling, but there are also aspects of Beauty and the Beast, like sort of undertoned in it as well, and I loved it. At one point I was like, ooh, this feels sort of like Beauty and the Beast. I'm kind of digging it. But at the same time, it's still Cinderella. Oh my God. Way to go. Way to go. I love just yes. So many yeses. And can we go back to this cover? It's freaking magnificent. I can't wait to get my own copy of it. The next book that I finished was The Fear of Falling by B. Cranford. I place this in contemporary novella. I give it 3 stars. I give it 2 Steam fans. I listen to it on the podcast of Read Me Romance. Read Me Romance. And this is all about taking that jump, facing your fears, and doing something that's, you know, outside of the box, or that you've always wanted to do, but you didn't know how to do it. So Lenny is our female character, and Rowan is our male character. She ends up like sort of trying to calm herself. One of the things that she wants to do with her life is to ride a roller coaster, and she's sort of talking herself into riding this roller coaster, and in walks Rowan, who kind of helps her to face that fear, and then they sort of go on this sweet, cute meet cute as well as, you know, a journey. It is a novella, so it happens pretty quickly. I did enjoy that it wasn't insta love right away. You actually got like a little epilogue at the end of it, and it goes some years later before there is love. So I enjoyed that. But there is instant attraction. There's a to-do list for fears on both sides, and it was just a sweet little thing. And I thought the sexy time in it, or the I guess, yeah, the sexy time in it was on point. Was on point. It wasn't super over the top, but it wasn't closed door either. The next and final book that I finished last week was The Gathering by L.A. Fiore. This is a gothic, fantastical, magical, paranormal ball of amazingness. I give this book 5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook, as a reread. I read this 2 years ago as an ARC, and I loved it then, and I love it now. Oh my goodness. Now, I was doing a buddy read with India from Turn the Page. Why can't I get her name right? Keep Turning the Pages. I think that's, yeah. Sorry, India. I always mess up your name on the thing. Yep. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's because I didn't know I was going to say your channel name. Yeah. Anyways, back to the fact that I was rereading this. So, she asked for a book that we could read together, and I suggested this one. Now, she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it before. And was like, yeah, let's reread this one. She gave me some criteria and was like, this is what I sort of want to read. And I was like, okay, this is sort of what you should be reading, or what you could read. And I will have to say that I kind of agree with her that when you're reading this book, if you have never read it before, make sure you get a copy of it as well. So as I was going through the audiobook, which was phenomenal. Oh my goodness. It really did help that I had already read the book, so I had sort of a baseline of how and where the story was going to go to understand the narration. And the narration just added the extra feelings for me. It does do a lot of jumping around. There's about 4 main characters. You have Ivy, Josiah, Bane, and I think there is one other main character that you sort of get into their heads. But you definitely need to have the book sort of in front of you, because that definitely has like the breakdown of, you know, where everyone's coming from, and you can sort of see the text change and things like that. So definitely make sure you have both versions of it if you decide to check this book out. But I will say it is amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, on to what I am currently reading. I got a whole bunch of stuff on my list because I am currently in the middle of doing a readathon, which, if you didn't know, is the romance takeover buddy read, which I am doing with a whole bunch of my romance friends, and we're trying to read romance. As I said in the beginning of the video, I didn't get very much reading done because my body has been thrown off and it wants to take naps at like 11 o'clock in the morning when I'm not at work. So my weekends are like, okay, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, read from like 4:30 until about 8, and then I get up and I do things, read some more, and then by 11 o'clock I'm like dozing off. So yeah, that's how it's been going. But I am currently in the middle of reading Ashes, which is book number 3 in the Web of Desire series by Aleatha Romig, and mwah! Yes, yes, she's bringing some more twists and turns, and there's so much going on. So many things have been revealed. I love this trilogy oh so much. You guys get to read it in a couple days. If you haven't binged the other 2 books in it, in a couple days you will be able to binge this whole entire trilogy, and you won't regret it. You won't regret it. If you haven't read the other web trilogies, I think you should go out and check those out as well, because they're phenomenal. and it builds this world that's just so amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm also reading Barbarian's Mate by Ruby Dixon, which is part of the readathon that I'm doing. I'm also reading Thrown Away by Leddy Harper. I received this as an ARC. I will have to check to see if this has been released yet or when the release date is, and I'll put it like right there. Missing in Action by Canterbary. I've been trying to read this one. I actually haven't started this one yet, but I will be doing it because I'm telling you guys about it, and I'm going to try and read it. I'm also listening to That Secret Crush by Meghan Quinn, which is for the romance readathon that I'm doing this weekend. So, alrighty, there we go. That's what I read last week. That's what's going on in my life. All sorts of craziness. I'm trying not to touch my face. Touch my face. What's the dance I'm doing? What's the dance I'm doing? How about you tell me? Okay. Alrighty, so as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. There's a recommendation form down there as well. Let me know some books. All you need is the book title, the book author, the book genre, and if you could leave me a name that I can shout you out if I use your book in a video, I will shout you out. Okay, are you checking the description box? I hope so, because there's a whole bunch of stuff down there. Keep washing your hands. No touching the face, social distance, and I hope you guys are enjoying VEDA, because this is included in VEDA, where I'm giving you a video every single day. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys tomorrow.